So, super excited to finally get to sit down with the amazing McKenzie, right? And so, why don't you just kick us off by kind of just introducing yourself, just however you see fit.
Cool. Yes, I am McKenzie. I am one of the social ad strategists on now a team of five. I started at Tuff almost a year ago. We're approaching my 1 year in I think
Wow.
a week or two. So super exciting. I live in Nashville, Tennessee. And yeah, I've been in the social ad space for about 4 years now. So loving it. And it's been an awesome ride at Tuff so far the past year.
That's incredible. So I'm going to circle back to a couple things you said, but first, let's just jump into who Mackenzie is, right? So, who is Mackenzie? What does Mackenzie enjoy doing outside of work?
McKinsey, that's such a hard question to answer, but I guess I'll just talk through like what I enjoy and what you can find me doing on a normal weekly basis outside of work. I live in Nashville.
Right.
I have a dog. He's about to turn 5, so I'm with my dog pretty often, Burley. I live in a Germantown, which is like a little pocket of Nashville. It's kind of like up and growing. There's a lot of new restaurants to try, a lot of cool coffee shops. So usually you can find me at one of those on the weekend. I'm like always trying to try the new restaurant in town.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, I recently got back into yoga. So I've been doing that every Saturday morning.
Yeah. I
And
definitely want to ask you a question about yoga in just a
okay, go for
right.
it.
But first, before we even talk about yoga, what's your favorite restaurant in Nashville right now? If you had to pick three, just give me three.
Okay. Okay. Well, it definitely depends on like the cuisine I'm going for.
Okay.
I'd say, okay. One of my favorites, well, I live in Germantown, like I said.
Mhm.
And so there's a lot of really good spots there. One of my favorite places in Germantown that I've been going to a lot recently is Butchertown Hall. So they have like different smoked meats, different types of tacos and that kind of thing. So you can find either like the best brisket taco, honestly, in my opinion. So that's one of my favorite places. Best pizza, in my opinion, is 5 Points, which is like such a classic answer. But I love their like habanero pizza. I'm a sucker for anything hot and spicy. So I love that pizza. And then let's see. We just recently went to Virago in the Gulch. So
Uh,
I went there last week and that was like one of my favorite sushi spots I've tried yet. So that was a really good spot for sushi.
so remind me, isn't Germantown kind of on the north? It's north of downtown, right?
Hmm.
So just for anybody watching, if they want to visit Germantown, it's in the northern part of Nashville. And so you said that, you're a sucker for anything spicy. What is the
Hmm.
spiciest hot chicken that you've had?
Honestly, it was what's the one? It was at Yeehaw Brewery. They have like a little pop-up truck. It might have been Helen's Hot Chicken, I think, maybe. Is that
Helen?
something?
Yeah.
Um I was like, I can do this, I love spicy things. And I was really hungry. I was like, I'm gonna go for it. I got the like one of the spiciest chicken tender nuggets possible. And my mouth was on fire. I had the hiccups, my nose was running, and everyone was like, okay, is it too spicy? I was like, no, it's fine. Lying through my smile. Yeah.
So
So
funny story, right? So I went to Party Foul and I got the poultry guys. I think it's the poultry guys, which is their
mhm.
hottest. And I was like, I'm gonna eat this and it's gonna be incredible. And I started eating it and it wasn't too hot. And then all of a sudden, like 10 minutes later, it punches me. And I do mean it punches me. So I'm like grasping for the waiter, like, please get me some milk. And so I downed like 2 cups of milk, a whole glass of lemonade, and interestingly enough, like I got full from the liquids that I was,
Yeah.
but I got way too full trying to put out the fire in my mouth. So my wife had to actually drive me home and I just laid in the back seat like the entire ride home because the hot chicken definitely defeated me. You know what I mean?
It's a lot. I actually 2 weeks ago we went also to a ramen spot. That's like a brand new ramen spot.
Really?
And I can usually do pretty hot ramen, and that set me over the edge too. So anything spicy, like it stays in your mouth too,
Yeah.
even after drinking milk or trying to like get rid of it. It lingers.
Okay. Okay. So before we jump into yoga, I do know that you've been all over Tennessee. As a matter of fact, your fun fact on a website is that your house that you grew up in is on like the edge of Tennessee and Georgia, right? So you
Mhm.
technically lived in two states at one time, but
Yeah.
from Nashville to Chattanooga, I believe, to even Knoxville, you spent some time during college in Knoxville, right? Right.
Yep. Yep. Go Vols.
I did my digging. I did my digging. So, like, what's your favorite part of Tennessee so far?
Oh gosh. I mean, like, gotta rep the hometown. I do love Chattanooga. Like, there's so many cool spots. And there's like great hiking and downtown's like really up and coming. So there's a lot of stuff going on there.
Right.
So I definitely Chattanooga has a piece of my heart for sure. But I've been loving living in Nashville. I've lived there for almost 5 years now, 4 years, I guess. And it's just been crazy. Like the growth is absolutely wild.
Yeah.
There's like always constantly something to do. So like this stage of my life, Nashville has been my favorite Tennessee spot for sure, but Chattanooga definitely holds a special place in my heart, and Knoxville too. And they have like wonderful things like hiking and so many outdoor activities in Chattanooga and Knoxville. So it's hard to choose. I can't choose one.
Okay. So while not an outdoor activity, you are really into yoga, right? And so you
Hmm.
stopped for a while. And so what's that like getting back into it and just
Yeah, I feel like the start of the pandemic was when I kind of stopped because I was just it wasn't the same for me doing the online and from home.
Mhm.
So I just stopped for a while. And recently, like this year, I was like, okay, I kept saying it. Last year I said it all year. I was like, I'm gonna get back into yoga, but I'd go to like one class and then like never commit. So this year I was like, I'm really gonna do it. I'm gonna stick to this. So I've been going a couple of times a week, but every Saturday morning I've been doing the same class, which is like a warm power flow. So it just like gets you back grounded to your center. I like kind of remembered all the everything as far
Yeah.
as like the flows, and the instructors are like super helpful if you're like trying to work your way back into it to not push yourself and stretch too hard, but definitely like push your limits if you can. So it's been tough, but it is like a skill that you pick up. So you can like sit out for a while and then jump back in and you remember everything and you get going again. So
So
yeah.
like what is it about yoga specifically that you enjoy? Because you want to be an instructor in theory, right? So like
I would
what
love to.
yeah,
Yeah, that would be awesome. My dogs. Okay.
the dog.
Um, I I love yoga because I grew up my entire life tumbling, cheering, doing all that. So I've always loved the like stretching and the idea of like being super present in where you are, and being like, especially as I sit at a computer all day, like having that activity that really like pushes me to stretch and stand and yeah, like just move different joints that I'm not used to. That's one thing I love about yoga. And then also it's just the practice, like being present in the mindset. I've really been trying to focus on that and not worry about everything else that's going on outside of my life. When I go in there and I get myself on the mat, I really try and focus on like in the moment. Here's what I'm here to do today in this class. So it is just kind of an escape too.
Yeah.
It's nice.
Okay. Let's shift gears just a little bit and let's talk
Okay.
about paid social, right? Or
Yeah.
social more broadly. You started off doing some organic and some paid, and now you're like fully immersed in the paid side, right? And obviously, people that are watching this know that you're the paid expert. Like she's incredible. She's incredible. She's incredible. But I wanna talk about some of the negatives, right? Like just give it a different spin. Like, is there any failures you've had in your entire social career that you feel like you can learn from or you have learned from?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like social is like a really interesting spot to be in. I think backing up a little bit, I started my career in PR, which is how I kind of worked my way into organic social and doing like influencer things like that. And it's just it's an interesting space because it's always evolving. So as I started working more on the paid side, I realized that I really love like looking at data and being able to like really provide valuable results versus like organic content. You have to be really focused on the creative side of things.
Yeah.
And I started figuring out my brain just works in a data-driven way. So when I started working in paid social, I think the negative side is it's a big old test. So you never know, like 100%, you can have all this experience, but you never know how something's going to truly, what the outcome could be. So it's kind of leaning in on testing something and knowing that you're going to get a valuable learning, even if it completely flops.
Yeah.
But also like constantly pushing yourself to try something new and not just stick with what you know, to drive better results. So I think the negative side can be, it's a little intimidating to try new things, and you're really scared to like mess something up. But I think everything you can turn into a learning. So that's kind of the negative way to spin it into a positive, I guess.
Yeah, I think when people think of us as social experts, they think we have all the answers, right? But I think part of being an expert is, particularly in our spaces, that we accept that we don't have the answers, right? And so we're just always looking. And I think that's what kind of separates us from a beginner who's like, I just know everything, you know? And so it's been really refreshing to work with everybody at Tuff who has this like inquisitive mindset, I would call it. Like everyone's looking for, the answer. We're all looking for an answer, and we don't presuppose that we know it. So it's really, really refreshing. So as you approach your 1 year at Tuff, right? And you were not the first social ad strategist, but now you are the oldest tenured, right? Am I correct in that?
Correct. Yes. Well, Kristen started on the social ads team, but the one that's still on the team. Yes.
Yeah. So what's it been like for you? This 2-part question, right? Okay. What's it been like for you to now be the longest tenured still on the social ads team? And what's it been like just as we approach that 1 year at Tuff? What's it been like just being at Tuff versus anywhere else?
Yeah, it's been honestly amazing to be one of the team members that was here from the start. I think, whenever I came on board, I had no idea like how fast we were going to grow, how much we were going to grow. But it has been so awesome to learn from every single person that's come on board. So every person provides like a unique perspective. And I feel like now we have this team that's so collaborative, and we're like a powerhouse versus when I worked alone. It can be a little hard sometimes to not have another brain to pick on something or some insights from someone else. So it's been amazing to watch our team grow and get some really valuable teammates. And then at Tuff, I think this past year has been one of the best years of my career. It really has. Everyone that works at Tuff is so incredible at what they do. And everyone is very intelligent. So I feel like I've learned so much from just absorbing information from all of these different experts all over the field. And it's been really cool to work with so many different founders. And these people help them grow their business, but also learning from them and seeing the way their mind works, and just learning overall like business strategies from them. It's been awesome.
It's been incredible. And I've only been here way, way less time. So before we go, last question, speed round. You ready?
Okay.
I'm going to ask you 4 questions really fast, and then we're going to end on a high note. All right. Dog or cat?
Dog.
All right. Mountains or beach?
Beach.
All right. Passenger or driver?
Driver.
GIF or GIF?
GIF.
Okay. When I started, everyone said GIF except for me, so I started to say GIF, right? So thank you so much for sitting down and having this conversation with me. I hope it wasn't too terrible, right?
No, it was so fun. This was a blast.
Good. Well, thanks for it. Thanks for the time. Talk to you later.
Cool. Thanks, David.
Bye-bye.